so I've now waited for everything to dry. So my alcohol inks is nice and dry. And in the meantime, my daughter decided to come into my studio and add black paint to my pewter piece. So this little black blotch here is paint that my daughter decided to paint on, which is actually not paint, is stays on ink that she got a hold of on my table. So please ignore this little black blob. It is not patina, it is stays on ink that I can't get off. So unfortunately I will have to live with it for the rest of my life. And then here as well, but I got most of it off. But besides that, I think I'm very happy with the piece. We can now continue to cut out with our dry point needle, and we do that from the front of our pewter on our hard surface. Don't cut on your lino, we do it on our hard surface. So when I fix a piece like this to a wooden canvas, which I'm going to do, and I'm not going to fix it in my floating method, I'm going to fix it flat on top of the canvas. I like leaving little straight pieces of pewter, which I don't cut away, and then after everything is done, I fold them to the back, and I can add some resin glue to those pieces to make sure that the pewter sticks to the canvas. Because otherwise I've got nothing really where I can put glue on. The glue doesn't really stick to the beeswax, so I like leaving these little fins that I fold over. So what I mean with the little fin is I take my dry point needle and I will cut from that edge straight through, and then from that edge. So you want to pick a side that is more or less straight. So we don't have a lot of them on this piece, but there is here and there a little bit of a straight line. So it is just pressing down, pulling away, pressing down, pulling away until you feel that you went through the pewter. So this little fin I'm going to fold over to the back once we're done. So now I can continue with the cutting part. So press down at a hard pressure and then just pull out. You're going to repeat this again, and then you might have to repeat it 1 or 2 more times, and then I take away the little piece. I like doing my cutting work one little piece at a time, so now I'm going to do the next one. And then I'm going to cut it off. It just makes it easier to handle the pewter. And then these little curves, they can be quite tricky, so I'm going to take it into the curve as far as possible, cut it completely, turn my pewter, cut it around. So you want a firm, steady hand, and then do that little curve there. And then do this edge. So when it comes to cutting, you really need to take your time. You don't want to cut through any of your beautiful pieces. And I'm not going to worry about the points at the moment. That I will tidy up with a small scissor at the end. Okay, so I'm done cutting out everything, and I've left a couple of these little fins that I can bend over eventually. So after you've done cutting, you just slightly bend these over so that they go to the back. Like that. And that's going to give you a nice space to put some glue on. And then what I do is I take, because there's a lot of rough edges after you've done the cutting, I take the side of my cutting tool and I just smooth out all of my edges. So I smooth out all of these edges like that. So very softly. And then after I've done this, I can take a small scissor and I can cut off any sharp points that I've left behind. Okay, so that's it for the cutting part. I'll continue doing this, and then once I'm done, I can then seal the pewter now. And I'm going to seal my pewter with a matte finish.